You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
All right, what is it? No, I did not fall out of a coconut tree. I absolutely did not, Kamala, you dingbat. Anyway, what is it? Tuesday night? Must be the Tuesday Night Radio Baloney Live. I'm your host, Richie Baloney. Looks like we already got Rosie, Trudeau Survivor in the chat. Good to see you guys. All right, let's get to the menu. What are we going to be talking about tonight? We'll take a look at that quickly. Then we'll go back to the chat, dole out some good karma, and then get back to these stories in detail. All right, first off, so it's the end of an era. INFOWARS has been shut down. Now The Onion has taken it over. They're leasing the brand for like $81,000 a month for 6 months. Yeah, it's not funny. We're going to take a look. It's really not funny. I mean, here's the final show. Alex Jones saying goodbye from INFOWARS. He's reset up already on Alex Jones Live, I think it's called, and so it's a weird thing The Onion is doing because you can't really parody Alex Jones. He's already too crazy, right? So they're spending a lot of money. I think this is going to fall with quite a thud. I don't think there's going to be a lot of actual interest in it. But in any case, we will take a look at that. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, yeah. So just a Florida man doing Florida things in Florida, but also, too, what's going on? They're getting another commie mayor, it looks like, in Los Angeles. So, I mean, I think it's just different flavors of commie, right, that's going to run that city. And they will never learn. Never learn. We're going to take a look at this person who was a democratic socialist who was leading on the poly market. Yeah, it's, I guess, New York, LA, just write them off. Just write them off. Let's see. What do we got here? Woke mind virus stuff. Oh, hold on a second. God damn it. I hate it when it does that. Let's see. Let me find the thing again. Woke mind virus. There we go. All right. So what is with these crazy old ladies, these boomers? These it's like the boomers crusade. Like these were the people that were out protesting Tesla lots and stuff. Like they're just nuts. Who are these crazy people? In any case, yeah, I don't know. But we'll take a look at that. Here's another crazy person. And yeah, it's just lots of woke mind virus going around these days. We're not going to run short of that. The judge presiding over Cole Thomas Allen's case, he's the White House Correspondents' Dinner attempted assassin. Well, the judge is very concerned about him, about his rights, and that he's doing okay. So I guess not a Trump judge, I guess. We'll take a look at that. Let's see, what do we got here? So here's like an old warning from, I think, 2017 of a guy from, where is he from? He was from the UAE. And just warning Europe about, you kind of got to deal with the extremism problem in your countries, like we did here. I'm talking about in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, crackdown on extremism there. And the extremism is coming out of Europe now, apparently, because they're too afraid to do anything about it because they'll get called names by crazy terrorists. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got here. All right, then let's move on to the next thing. What do we got? Canadian censorship. So it looks like we might be getting something like what they have in Germany, where politicians have their critics arrested for criticizing them and calling them names on the internet. So it shouldn't actually even be a surprise to anybody. We got the meme review. Everybody loves the meme review. Let's see. Then we've got, let's see. Oh, yeah, just more of this Canada joining the EU stuff. Carney talking about just his love affair with the EU. It's all so insane and just totally baffling. But in any case, we'll talk about that. Alberta independence looks like they're saying that they have enough signatures, far more than enough signatures, over 300,000 to get the referendum to leave Canada. Now, whether or not that referendum would actually go in their favor is a totally different thing. But I mean, that's one step that's been taken and completed. Canadian immigration. What do we have here? That's never good. Never good. Immigration Minister Lena Diab doesn't know how many of the 800 individuals who are confirmed to have committed fraud in their immigration applications currently remain in Canada. I'll tell you, it's far more than 800. We have taken in millions and millions with no vetting. So 800 is nothing. That's a drop of the barrel. They don't even know what happened to these people. I wonder if that's on purpose. I wonder if they don't actually want them to leave for some crazy political reason. Here's Pierre Poilievre smacking down Mark Carney in Parliament, and he's very good at this. I think you'll enjoy it. What do we have? Then we have the last tab of the evening, which is a bunch of stuff that you crazy degenerates sent in. So we'll go through that. Some of it's political stuff. Some of it's like weird things with animals, and some of it's kind of funny. And in any case, yeah. Let's go. All right. Now, as everybody knows, we're streaming on Rumble, YouTube, X, and Locals right now. And when you like the stream, you get good karma. But when you get in early, get those early likes, you get extra good karma. So what's going on tonight? Trudeau Survivor, #1. That's 6 good karmas right there. Boom. Rosie, #3. That's 4 good karmas. Holy macaroni. That's such a good amount. Looks like Canuck 6 Stringers got a 4. So that would be 3 good karmas. Wow. Let's see. Travis got #3. So, well, wait a second. Rosie said she got #3, but now Rosie said she got #2. So 5 good karmas for Rosie, 4 good karmas for Travis. Good to see everybody. Connect 6 Stringer with 4, which is, yeah. So that's whatever I said, 3 or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to do this in my head, folks. My brain ain't great. I can tell you that much. Let's see. So what are you guys talking about? Let's see if the membership from yesterday is gifted during the stream. Trudeau Survivor says to Rosie. Yes, actually, we'll keep an eye on that. I don't know. Let's see. Rosie says, Richie, you know how you cannot stand Trugina? Trugina. I cannot stand Kamala Harris's voice. All right, I take the point. We won't do that intro again. It is really annoying, isn't it? Let's see. Anyway, how you doing, Canuck 6 Stringer? How you doing, Jamis? Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says, the Onion's play seems like Saul Alinsky rules for radicals, infiltrate, and take over. I doubt they'll turn a profit. 90% of old InfoWars viewers will vanish. This is a costly attempt to own the right. Well, I just want to correct there. It's not 90% of InfoWars viewers that will vanish. It's 100%. So I think it's just like a trophy, right? It's a trophy they want to wave around and say, we win. But what do they really win? I mean, nobody's going to watch it. Like, it will be 0 InfoWars viewers watching it. They've all gone over to Alex Jones's new thing now. So, and it's not funny. I mean, we're going to take a look. I'll show you. It's more, I guess, clapter kind of stuff, but it's not very compelling. So it just seems like a giant waste of money for really nothing, like for no real benefit. Let's see. All right. Well, let's just get to it then, shall we? Let's take a look. All right. So what happened before we watch the videos, before we see Alex Jones here? Let's take a look. What exactly happened from Newsweek? Alex Jones versus The Onion. InfoWars host defiant as show shuts down. Alex Jones signed off on his final InfoWars broadcast this week with defiance and bravado. Alex Jones signed off on his final InfoWars broadcast this week with defiance and bravado, promising a comeback even as his long-running conspiracy platform went dark amid an intensifying legal battle with the satirical news outlet The Onion over control of the band, the conspiracy platform. And I will say, yes, conspiracies. I just think that CNN should also be called conspiracy platform. MS Now, conspiracy platform. New York Times, conspiracy platform. Washington Post, conspiracy platform. CBC, conspiracy platform. BBC, conspiracy platform. Alex Jones wasn't claiming that the walls were Alex Jones was never claiming that the walls were closing in on Trump and that he was guilty. Alex Jones never claimed there was a Russian collusion between Trump and Putin. Right? That was CNN, that was MSNBC, that was the New York Times, CBC, BBC. Right? Alex Jones didn't claim that the Hunter Biden laptop was classic Russian misinformation and disinformation. That was CNN, that was MSNBC, that was ABC Nightly News, that was New York Times, that was LA Times, right? So I'm fine with Alex Jones being called a conspiracy theorist, a conspiracy platform. I just think that all of them should be because Alex Jones never told a lie that was as consequential as the Hunter Biden lie. The lie about Hunter Biden, the Hunter Biden laptop, the lie about the Hunter Biden laptop being Russian disinformation right before an election. That was consequential. Okay, the Russian collusion hoax, Steele dossier, that stuff was consequential. So, yeah, as long as they're all called conspiracy platforms, I'm fine with it. The Austin, Texas-based show, which Jones has hosted for more than 2 decades, shut down after a court-appointed receiver overseeing his assets stopped covering operating expenses. The move forced the closure of INFOWARS studio as courts continue to grapple with how to liquidate Jones's media empire to satisfy more than $1 billion in defamation judgments owed to families of victims of the 2012 Sandy Hook elementary school shooting. And everything he said about the Sandy Hook thing, I obviously do not agree with that. All right. So what else do we have here? So The Onion has taken over the brand, essentially, right? The website. The Onion has not completed an outright purchase of INFOWARS, but instead reached a deal to lease the company for $81,000 a month. Apparently, this is for 6 months with the option to re-up after 6 months. So, a little under $500,000, a little under, $960,000 for a year, if it goes that long and if it continues on. So it's a lot of money. A lot of money. Now, let's see what they're getting for that money. So this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to do a parody of Alex Jones. And Count Dankula says, painfully unfunny, zero imagination, and cringe as fuck right out of the gate. Called it. Let's see if they're getting their money's worth.
But I'm going to sip from the blood of the Forsaken. This is real human blood. You can find this at the INFOWARS store. This is human blood curated from the Forsaken and the sinners. All right, this is pure premium blood, tested, FDA unapproved. And this is just human blood. As part of my satanic ritual, I am a servant to Satan. And thank God I was able to get him and the Lord to sit down and come to their senses and get things back to before Satan was cast into hell. So I'm part of that. I'm part of
at least the voice sounds kind of like Alex Jones, but Alex Jones isn't that hard. Anybody can go interdimensional demons, right? It's not actually that hard. In fact, it'd be funnier if he started talking about interdimensional demons, but I don't know. I mean, the drinking human blood stuff. Is there going to be a huge market for this? Really? I mean, it's not funny. It's definitely not funny.
Part of the peace movement. It's thick. It tastes like blood. And this is Satan giving me the powers to continue to fight. And we will continue to fight. And I cheers to you. If you have access to the blood of the Forsaken and of all the children, this is not blood. These are adult. This is adult blood, by the way. Ain't no question. I made sure of that because I don't want to get in trouble. But this is the blood of the Forsaken. It's hot.
So Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like they're getting their money's worth. I mean, how do you like? Here's the problem. Alex Jones is too. It's too much. Here's the problem. Alex Jones is larger than life and just hilarious on his own. He's more hilarious than the InfoWars parody can ever be. Just him being himself, right? And the thing about Alex Jones is it's always been about his personality, right? I don't get the news from Alex Jones, right? It just occasionally when I see him, I'll see him and I'll watch because he's just entertaining. He's just an entertaining guy. He's always been like an entertainer, I think, first and foremost. I think. And I think that's what they don't really understand. Also, too, like there has to be some kind if you're gonna parody somebody, there has to be like a real like seed of truth in it. And Alex Jones is now a Satanist who drinks human blood. It's not working. It's just not working. I'm sorry, whoever this guy is. Yeah. So I've got to feel. I think that what's going to happen is they'll do this for 6 months. It's going to cost a fortune, and then they'll just stop because there's no point. It's not making money. Obviously, Infowars people aren't. They're gonna see this and then leave immediately, right? They're not going to hang around for this. And then lefties, they're excited and then they'll just move on to the next thing. And it's not really compelling enough, at least from this, to keep anybody's interest, right? Who's going to watch an hour of this? Nobody. Let's see. What do we got here? So here is Alex Jones officially shutting down InfoWars after 27 years on air. Let's take a look.
And all glory goes to Jesus Christ and our Heavenly Father that leads, guides, and directs us. We commit ourselves to God in this holy fight, and we are committed. And if God stands with us, who can stand against us? And that's how I close out. So I salute you all. What a crew. The hell we've been through has only made us stronger. Let me ask you, would you have any other way? No. Are you not stronger now in this fight? Yeah! I salute this crew and all the viewers and listeners to this fight, and I commit myself to Jesus Christ's hands.
Amen. God bless the InfoWar. Woo!
You are the InfoWar. It lives forever. We're going to play Frank Sinatra Blue Eyes and come back with the great Tom Renz and then Jay Dyer to close this out. God bless you all. That's it. The next phase starts. The real war begins now.
So, there was a long legal battle with the Onion trying to get the rights to InfoWars. And they won. And, they're celebrating that they won that. But it just feels like kind of a Pyrrhic victory, doesn't it? Like it's not changing anything. Alex Jones is still going, right? I think he's just stronger than ever, right? Especially after all the publicity from this. And what they just have, Trudeau Survivor in the chat says, congratulations, you bought an expensive domain name that has no traffic. Yeah. So it seems like kind of an empty victory, doesn't it? But let's continue here. Austin Allred said, well, credit where credit is due. Let's see. Alex Jones, Charlottesville was a false flag run by SPLC operatives who hired actors to pose as Nazis. That was from August 12th, 2017. From Alex Jones. So they advertise and they have a Unite the Right, Don't Be Racist rally. And of course, these guys with torches come and you look them up and most of them are actors. Well, okay, let's just see what we're talking about here. Let's see. So here is from the indictment of the SPLC. F-37 was a member of the online leadership chat group that planned the 2017 Unite the Right event in Charlottesville, Virginia, and attended the event at the direction of the SPLC. F-37 made racist postings under the supervision of the SPLC and helped coordinate transportation to the event for several attendees. Between 2015 and 2023, the SPLC secretly paid F-37 more than $270,000. So yeah, throw a dollar in the Alex Jones was right jar for that one. Let's see. Raw Egg Nationalist posted this. The end of an era. This will always be my favorite InfoWars moment. It's about the fate of a man in an anti-human age. Let's take a look.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball, the Lady Gaga, the Justin Bieber, who gives you these carbon tax messages. They tell your kids they got to love Justin Bieber, and then Bieber says, hand in your guns, pass the Cybersecurity Act, and the police state's good, and then your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild.
That's iconic. Magellan was a lot cooler than Justin Bieber.
NATO's before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200 and something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer and explorer. Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind. Talking about Justin Bieber. It's pure evil. They're taking your intellect and your soul and giving you Michael Jordan.
See, this is why the Onion will fail in their attempts to make the new Onion Alex Jones parody channel successful, because you can't. He's unparodyable, really. He's already too crazy already. Like, they don't have anybody that can shine like this. They just don't. All right. Let's see. So here is, Alex Jones. His new show, alexjoneslive.com. That's the new show. So he's still just doing his thing. Let's take a look here.
Forget the Iran war. That's a hiccup. The other thing people don't realize, they're using man-made UFOs to move around. In other words, you will hear from 3 or 4 military guys on May 8th describing man-made, one of them 300 feet across, an octagon, where they were transporting humans crated up with little HVAC systems on them. And this is a Marine special operations guy. And his, account, it was chilling. And then what happened, we have some Delta Force guys who, at a black site, I won't name here, that confirmed it and knew where those were being taken to and what they were doing with it. So a lot of it is shocking material. I've known of this since the 90s.
All right. So hold on a second.
You said 30 years ago, this separate expert tech group, whatever you want to call it, they're going to false flag and blame the aliens and claim it's an alien attack. And now we're getting it from Congress. We're getting it from Delta Force. It's incredible.
Well, this is how you get.
So there he is, doing the same thing, talking about aliens, talking about psyops and this sort of thing, doing the exact same thing. And your average person, they hear UFOs, they're far more likely to watch this than they are the Alex Jones parody channel, right? And it kind of feels like a desperate attempt from the Onion to, reclaim some relevance, because they're not relevant anymore. Used to be funny. Then, of course, they were obliged to go woke, and they had a very narrow bandwidth of what they could actually make fun of. And that made them not funny anymore, right? Once you go politically correct, you can't be funny. Let's actually check out the Onion. Let's see what they're doing today. So, yeah, okay. Epidemiologists confirm first airborne transmission of Mar-a-Lago face. So I guess that's supposed to be making fun of Melania, even though, you know, she looks great and not like that at all. So this is what I mean when I say, you know, they lost the ability to just cast a wide net, right? It had to be a very narrow bandwidth of what was acceptable to make fun of. And as a result, nobody talks about the Onion anymore. These things used to be like viral. They used to be hilarious. And now everybody's forgotten. Terrified Adolis Garcia wondering if anyone else can see Philly Fanatic. Well, that's not a bad headline there. Let's see. Taking advantage of other people was the best financial decision I ever made. Let's see. Capital tour guide keeps pointing out hidden spots with uninterrupted sightlines. Jesus. Yeah. Not great. Not great. At long last, InfoWars is ours. Yeah, I get it. It seems like kind of a Pyrrhic victory. I don't think this is going to rescue them from obscurity. Let's see. Trump demands staff get King of Hormuz on the line. Trump accuses voters of meddling in midterm. Like, again, when you have such a narrow bandwidth of what's acceptable, what you're allowed to make fun of, this is what happens. And it's not funny. Even leftists don't like it. All right. And Alex Jones is doing just as well as ever. Then says the reason every Alex Jones parody has failed, from the Daily Show alumni to the current Onion attempt, is that leftists incorrectly assume that it's politics that people find entertaining. Alex is a force of nature, a guy so uniquely in touch with experiencing everything he encounters, but fallible, as all humans are, at putting it together. His relentless search for meaning is not different from the lifestyles that many of us information-obsessive posters and chatters live, but he's clearly a once in a generation talent at generating word streams that convey passion. And I want to make the point again. Alex Jones didn't insist the walls were closing in on Trump. Alex Jones never said there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Alex Jones never said lied about Russia collusion. You know, Alex Jones didn't say that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian misinformation or bore the hallmarks of Russian misinformation. Right? So if you're going to throw the conspiracy label on people, there's a lot of people you can throw it on where it's just, a matter of course for them. Let's see. What's this? Let's check this one out.
I'm a guy that takes depressants, not pills, alcohol, because I can't handle the truth. And I know that's the issue. I can't handle how alive I am right now in the fight against these tyrants. And how hard I'm going to push to go after them because I'm so full of life and so full of resistance to these murdering pedophiles who want to get in the way of God's plan. And let me tell you, I've been taken up to the third heaven. I've been jacked into the big plan. I've seen it. I can't even compute all of it. It's so fantastical. You've not seen nothing. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't smelled nothing like this. I don't have words to tell you. But I tell you, anybody tries to get in the way of the incredible plan the big guys got for us, it's got me pissed, and I'm just begging to stay on the team, man.
You can't. If you're going to parody somebody, you've got to be able to take them at an extra yard. And Alex Jones has already gone there. You can't top him. He is a force of nature. It just won't work. All right. What do we have here? This is funnier than anything The Onion or Tim Heidecker, I guess that's who was doing the impression, could do with parodying Alex Jones and InfoWars. This is from Siraj Hashmi. Let's take a look.
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen. I never sucked any ding-dongs. But I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
Didn't you already tell Der Spiegel that?
Now, the son of a bitch walked in there in my own office when I'd splattered stuff on myself when I was changing shirts. He goes, oh, that's a good shot. Let's get your shirts. And then he goes, I go, hey, have some of this chicken and sausage. So technically I said, Jones offered me his sausage. Yeah, give me a break, you son of a bitch. I like women, not men. And if I like men, I'd be proud of it. I'd have a line of them. But I ain't ever been in bed with no man. I've been in bed with probably 300 women. And you sons of bitches sit there and you play these games, and I'm sick of it. So.
You can't parody this. You just can't. It's as if I was gay, I'd be proud of it. I'd have a line of them. Yeah. In order to parody somebody, you've got to be able to be more amusing than they are, and it just doesn't work. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm afraid pretending that Alex Jones is now a Satanist drinking human blood is not going to cut it.
But I'm going to sip from the blood of the Forsaken. This is real human blood. You can find this at the INFOWARS store. This is human blood curated from the Forsaken and the sinners. All right, this is pure premium blood, tested.
Yeah, it falls a bit flat, doesn't it? Well, it falls completely flat, actually. I get even lefties, right? I mean, there'll be a bit of clapter for this for, I don't know, like 36 hours. And then, yeah, everybody will just kind of get on with their lives and go on to, I don't know, just look at, I don't know, people on yachts on Instagram again or something. I don't know. But yeah, it'll get 36 or 72 hours. Let's say 72 hours of excitement over this, and then everybody will just forget it. It's not going to be compelling enough for anybody to go back. So it seems like they wasted an enormous amount of money and frankly are kind of embarrassing themselves. All right. Let's get to the chat. Let's see. What are you guys saying? What are you guys saying? Rosie says, so does the purchase include all historical broadcasts and chat transcripts and purchased it? No, I do not. No, I do not believe so. I think it's just actually like the physical location they're at, the website domain. And I think like it's kind of complicated. They're having to hold on to all the cameras and stuff at the old InfoWars studio, because that's all supposed to be auctioned off at some point to send to the, so yeah, no, I don't believe they got any of that. Let's see. Spambot says, check it in to drop like number 5, my way to bed, another early change window. Is this like day 35 of the constant working in a row days? Yeah, so that would be 2 good karmas for you. Boom. Let's see. He says, last night's Rachel Wilson bit about birth control, quote, it makes women unfuckable, according to a married friend of mine. Let's see. Spambot says, have a good night. I'll watch the replay of the stream of the morning. Well, have a good night to you, Spambot. JJ Nevada got like number 6. That's 1.75 good karmas. That's still like a really healthy amount. Rosie says, hidden spots with uninterrupted sightlines. That is not funny. Yep. Yeah, but I guess like the political violence craze on the left is really hot right now. So the Onion wanted to capitalize on that, I guess. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Spambot says, checking back in, I have the only heart on the extreme. All right. Well, I tell you what, that's an extra 6 good karmas for you. Boom. Boom. Rosie says there are some things he got in trouble about over the years that I believed some of. Well, I mean, it's like, the Alex Jones was right tip jar, right? He was talking about the Epstein stuff like way before anybody else, by the way. Let's see. And he called the SPLC being involved in Charlottesville. They were. It comes out. It's in the indictment. Trudeau Survivor says spam has to work hard to support Cardi's addiction to spending other people's money. Sadly. All right. Let's move on to the next thing, and we'll get rid of these tabs because we don't need them and they're in the way. Let's see, get rid of that and get rid of that too. All right. So, what do we have first? Ron DeSantis posted this. Florida man doing Florida man things. This is why he's so popular in Florida, I think. Ron DeSantis. Let's see. Florida man doesn't ask for permission. This is from Straight Florida. He just straps on a jet-propelled hoverboard, hooks his dog to a jet ski, and goes for a Sunday cruise like it's completely normal. This is why the rest of the country will never understand us. Peak Florida, never change. So, yeah.
Guys, there's literally a guy that's like flying, but that's not even the most impressive part. He has a dog on his jet ski. What in the world is going on? Bro, what is happening? Nah, this is crazy. This is crazy. Guys, there's literally...
That's just Florida man doing Florida man things with Florida man dog. I guess Florida dog. Florida man and Florida dog doing Florida man and Florida dog things. All right. I thought you'd enjoy that. Let's see. James Woods reposted this. He says, again, I'm shocked. Well, let's see. This is from Jack Danger. Los Angeles is about to make a big mistake. Democratic Socialist Nithya Raman is now the projected favorite to become the next mayor of Los Angeles. Well, I mean, they got Karen Bass right now, who's like a Cuban-trained communist, like in reality, a Cuban-trained communist. So, I mean, it's not really much different. I mean, I guess the thing is that they're just going to have a commie run them. They've just decided we only want commies wrecking this city. So, bad idea. Well, let's see. What's going on? Who is she? Well, she is an immigrant. She was naturalized at 22, I believe. Her family moved to the United States when she was 6. Member of the Democratic Party and the Democratic Socialists of America. Of course. You have to be. If you want to run a major city in the United States, I guess you have to be if you want to run LA. What do we have here? All right. So this is, let's make this a little bigger. All right. So this is Polymarket. And where is there we go. Okay. Here's Polymarket. And let's actually make this a little bit smaller so we can properly see Polymarket. So what do we got? Nithya Raman, 55%. So this is Polymarket. But they tend to be pretty good Polymarket, pretty close anyway. Karen Bass at 26%. She's also a commie. So they're just going to end up with a commie either way. Let's see. Here's her mayor's campaign website. So here's the thing she's proud of. Led the passage of strongest renter protections in the country. So the effect that will have is to make people less likely to rent out, a basement or whatever, because they're going to, because if somebody decides not to pay, they're going to end up getting screwed or wreck their place or whatever. That's what that means. capped rent increases. Again, what this is going to end up doing is creating a housing scarcity. Not going to help. They should know this, but they apparently just never learn. Let's see. Reduced encampments in my district by 54%. Well, I don't know. Maybe she did. Slashed red tape to greenlight more housing? Maybe. Let's see. Wrote the city's sanctuary city ordinance to protect immigrants from ICE. So that's also not going to help with the housing issue down there either. Or with the crime issue, or, you know, a lot of things. Let's say, or the budgetary issues, considering they get like the same benefits as citizens. Let's say established independent redistricting in LA to end gerrymandering. Well, Democrats are the masters of gerrymandering, so okay. Let's see, built the most bike lanes of any city council district. That's what she did when she was as a city councilor. That's what she's going to do for LA. That's what she's going to do for LA. Don't worry, LA. Soon you'll have the most bike lanes of any city council district. They got to get the bike lanes in on all those freeways, right? That'll work out awesome. What I've done, she says. Let's see. Housing for all, protecting renters, ending homelessness. It seems like whenever they say they're going to end homelessness, they make more homelessness. Isn't that weird? Let's see. Save Hollywood jobs. Yeah, sure. Communists aren't good at doing things that help people. That's the problem. That's the problem. So there you have it. Los Angeles' new mayor. Bad idea. Well, it sounds like it'll be her or Karen Bass, and it doesn't matter which one wins. Things will continue the decline there because they're commies. Or socialists. Sorry, socialists. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. All right, what do we got next? Let's get rid of these. We don't need them. We don't need these. Actually, let's go back to the chat for a second. What are you guys talking about? All right, let's just move on then. Yeah, it's hot in here. Hot in here. How long do I want to do this stream? It's freaking hot in here. I'm sweating already. All right, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. And wokeness. She's wearing shirt about kindness as she does this. You can't make it up. This is the boomers crusade. It's weird. It's the senior citizens crusade. It's like they all woke up one morning and decided that they were, teenagers again. They're back on college campus, ready to protest. The man, right? I mean, this is deranged. Old ladies. Is that somebody's grandma? I mean, what on earth are they doing? These people are nuts. And look at all the seniors they have there. Like there's another old guy there. Like it's just weird. I mean, maybe this is the worst thing about the left is that they've deranged all the boomers. Like, look at this crazy old bat over here with her wonker. She's there loving it. Like, it's just baffling to me. What? Like, again, this might be the most evil thing that the left has done is deranged people's grannies and turned them into this. What does that say? Maca make? What does that say? Make? What is Maca? See if we can read that. Make America kind again. Kind again. Her shirt says make America kind again. And what is she doing? See, look at all that kindness there. Look at her face there, too. She's full of rage. Is there one Mara, like Make America Retarded again? Is that one? Because that's the shirt she should be wearing. Look at her face there. Look at the rage on her face there. Make America kind again, she says. Sure. Nice work there, Granny. Nice work. It's I find it disturbing. I mean, these are the people that are out protesting the Tesla lots as well. These weird old grannies with their crazy signs. Let's see. Here they're doing in Montreal. They're doing that's a guillotine. They're doing a fake execution of Trump. in Montreal. That's what they're doing in Montreal. Geez, I wonder if all the rhetoric is dangerous. The back of her shirt says, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." So you would have them beat you with a bat or with a stick? Really? I think it's just sad. All right. It's sad what they're doing to Granny. JJ Nevada says she probably murdered all her kids, so now she's bored. Yeah, probably. Rosie says, what a great demonstration of Make America Kind again. I mean, the thing is, too, like, so kindness is to just allow your country to be flooded with people illegally and then just live off the benefits that are paid for by citizens. That's the kindness. Like, that's just suicide. That's just stupidity. It's bizarre. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say anymore. Let's see. All right. Oh, how about this one? Let's take a look. Documenting libs. Septum ring leftist dolt in her air-conditioned kitchen with fridge, microwave, and electric stove, dropping commie fantasy bombs from Documenting Libs. Let's take a look. I don't think she'd do very well in the revolution.
Why does it feel like such an insane and crazy thing to say that I want to live off the land and live in a commune with my friends and family for the rest of my life? Why is that a crazy... How are...
Well, but do you realize that you're going to have to, like, it's 18 hours every day to survive, right? You understand that? I don't think she understands that.
Are you sure? Like, I always get the wildest reactions from people when they hear that's like something that I want to and am planning and working towards doing. Guys, this is how humans lived before all of this fuck shit was built around us. This is
how people lived for 30 years before they died, before all the fuck shit like a air-conditioned home and all of the conveniences of modern life, and like the glasses that you're wearing, for instance, and like running water, like, you know, like indoor plumbing, right? And not dying of the Black Death and all of that. The level of stupidity is amazing.
That's how humans lived. Look at the natives. I'm trying to learn from the natives. How do I live like you guys did pre-colonization, before all the evil?
Well, again, they lived for about 35 years. They were in constant warfare with each other. Slavery was endemic. So like that's how she wants to live. Because she doesn't know anything is why.
Evil motherfuckers came over and destroyed everything that was good in the world. That being Native.
The level of ignorance, the level of historical illiteracy is genuinely amazing. And it's intentional, by the way. It's intentional. Like, she doesn't know that because it would be counter-revolutionary. It would be a reason if she had actual perspective and knew anything about the world and about history, that would not be inspiring her into a revolution. So that's why she knows nothing. It's intentional.
American culture, which is what we could have been living by in the United States. We could have had villages of people helping each other, living off the land with ranches, animals everywhere, farms. We're all just helping each other, trading goods, trading talents, trading knowledge.
Holy shit, this fantasy world she's living, like, it's just baffling how anybody could be this stupid, this ignorant. Wow. Let's see. Ma'am, the natives didn't get to romanticize their own 40-year life expectancy. I don't believe it was that high. I think it was more like about 35. This is peak. I want the vibe of 1500 BC without any of the dysentery energy. They really are this clueless, aren't they? Yep. Let's see. Mm. All right, let's just move on. God, that's dumb. God, that's dumb. What are you guys saying? Drama says, in Montreal, it was the execution of a Quebec minister, not Trump. Oh, I just saw the yellow hair. I assumed it was Trump. Let's see. Not that that's better, by the way. JJ Nevada says, thank you, Dramus. Nevada says, go live with the Amish. Go live with the Amish for a year, then get back to us. I don't think she'd like it. They don't have TikTok. Let's see. Let's see. All right, let's what do we got next? Let's move on. So the guy who tried to kill Trump and then basically wanted to kill as many people at the White House Correspondents' Dinner as possible, the judge in that case has taken a liking to him. It seems like very worried about him, worried about his treatment, and let's take a look.
Judge Zia Faraqui apologized to suspect Cole Allen for the treatment he's received so far while he's been behind bars. He's been put on suicide watch by the Department of Corrections, and the judge was asking why. An attorney for the government.
Why? The judge is asking why. Why he might be on suicide watch when he's facing down life in prison, never getting out. And he's not going to be going to like a country club either. It'll be a bad one, right? Why might he be suicidal after literally throwing away his life?
Said that he was put on suicide watch because he told FBI agents the night of the White House Correspondents' Dinner attack that he didn't expect to survive. And his language suggested that he really was not expecting to survive his trip to Washington, D.C. and the ultimate incident where he allegedly showed up with a weapon to try and assassinate President Trump. He's been charged with that crime, but the judge very concerned about his constitutional rights, saying the defendant has requested a Bible, has requested meetings with his legal team, and that has not been allowed. He's been put in restrictive 24-hour lockup with no windows in a padded room without an opportunity to get out for recreation. And so the judge making it clear to the Department of Corrections that he wants answers by tomorrow morning about exactly what the housing determination will be made for the suspect in this case, out of grave concern about his constitutional rights. And that apology issued near the end of the hearing. And so quite a moment just moments ago in federal court. Bottom line, the Department of Corrections said they wanted to make sure that he survived, that this is a high-profile case, and all involved acknowledged it is a high-profile case. But again, the judge concerned about the treatment he's gotten since he was arrested after the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting incident. Sandra, back to you.
A lot of people might be shocked by that.
The judge apologized to this guy who's a killer, who, if he had gotten another couple yards, would have sprayed the whole audience in the Correspondence Center. I mean, would have just sprayed him and killed God knows how many, and then would have marched up and taken a shot over the whole audience at the president. And we're apologizing to this guy? I don't get that.
Seems more concerned about his constitutional rights in some cases than others.
Constitutional rights? Well, all right.
Well, I mean, like, what rights do you really have? Like, they have to keep him from committing suicide. They're saying that already he's suicidal. Obviously, you would be after throwing your life away for nothing and facing facing a life sentence, a hellish life sentence. Right. So you wonder, if this is one of those, if this judge is one of those people who kind of thinks, favorably towards political violence, because it seems to be pretty epidemic on the left now. Is this a leftist judge? Kind of sounds like it must be, huh? Yikes. Crazy stuff. Apologizes to him. The guy who said he was willing to kill anybody who got in his way. Wow. All right. What are you guys saying? Let's go back. Nevada says, where was this judge for all the January 6ers? Yeah, exactly. Elf Support says, how you doing, Elf Support? Notice this guy dressing up like Hitman 2 video game character. Black dress shirt, dress pants, dress shoes, and red tie. I know you would want to look decent to approach, but favorite commie colors. Nevada says he'll probably get probation. No, he won't. No, he's going away for a long time. He's going away forever, right? You can't try to. I mean, he didn't get close, but he had the intention. He wrote the manifesto. He stated his intent. No, they're not going to let him run around. No Democrat would let him run around, right? It's not like, whoever the next, because there will be another Democratic president at some point. It's not like they're going to get in and then give him a pardon, right? So, yeah, crazy stuff. Let's see. What do we got here? So, Benetta Elliott posted this. It says, his words were prophetic. Time for Western Europe to realize they have a major problem and they need to deal with it. Well, daily terrorist attacks. Most of them are fairly small, 2 or 3 people being stabbed. They don't really make it into the news, but it's constant. This was 2017. The UAE's foreign minister said this, and let's take a look.
And let me say this in English so you can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of the lack of decision-making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance. And let me say this in English so you can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremist.
Yeah. So tried to warn. I mean, there was during the big migrant crisis in Europe, there were tons of reports of, people from the Middle East going to, a mosque in like Berlin and, or mosques in the UK and saying like, holy, these guys are super radical. Like these guys are super extremist. Like it wasn't like that where we came from. It's weird. I mean, they're too afraid to face reality, right? Like they're too afraid of being called names. And they're letting this stuff fester in their countries and they're suffering for it. What else do we have here? I think that's all right. Let's move on. So what do we have here? Wiretap Media posted this. Imagine this. One post about an MP gets flagged. The PPS quietly pulls your name and full social media history from its database. Under Bill C-70 and existing MOUs, it's handed to CSIS as a threat assessment that then triggers a Bill C-22 ministerial order forcing your ISP to install. Well, first up, let's just watch the video first. Now, before we see that, I just want to show you this from Mario Nawfal. Germany's chancellor has 300 active criminal cases against people who called him names online. Now, we know Mark Carney loves the EU. He loves Europe. He keeps saying that Canada's the most European of the non-European countries for some reason, even though Canada is actually far, far more like the United States. But in any case, he loves the EU. So I imagine this is the sort of thing that he'd like to be able to do himself. Well, let's take a look here.
Yes, so we've had an increase in resources to be able to, not just with our open source intelligence folks, but also with our assistant sergeant at arms, who are investigators, to be able to manage the increase in not just threatening behavior, but also.
Actually, before that, let's just hold on. Let me pull this up and we can just see. Canada. Hold on. Hold on. I'm not very prepared for this stream. I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on a second. Just give me 1 second. Hold on. Just trying to find, why don't they have a, you know what, screw it. I'm too tired. I'm too sweaty. Screw it. I'm struggling. All right. Let's watch this.
Yes, so we've had an increase in resources to be able to.
And this is Paul Mellon from the Parliamentary Protective Services. Parliamentary Protective Services. So this is about keeping parliamentarians safe.
Not just with our open source intelligence folks, but also with our assistant sergeant at arms, who are investigators, to be able to manage the increase in not just threatening behavior, but also nuisance and malicious, misogynistic types of online correspondence.
So this is people insulting politicians online. That's what he's concerned about here. Like, just like Mertz here, who has 300 active criminal cases against people who called him names online. But this is Canada now.
In regards to that, we do have a very robust records management system where we correlate every single incident and file. And if there is, we can differentiate between, we have different categories of if they're misogynistic and et cetera.
Misogynistic. You know, men actually get more abuse online than women, but, you know, liberals, current year, blah, blah, blah. So they're working hard to, you know, categorize people, I guess, saying mean things about politicians in Canada.
We can extract that information if required. Yeah.
So, yeah, the framework's all set up for this. Wiretap Media posted this. One post about an MP gets flagged. So somebody said an MP was dumb or something. The PPS quietly pulls your name and full social media history from its database. Under Bill C-70 and existing MOUs, it's handed to CSIS as a threat assessment. That then triggers a Bill C-22 ministerial order, forcing your ISP to install real-time tracking, metadata retention, and rapid data extraction targeted at you. This is where Canada is heading. All totally plausible. Totally plausible. Well, I mean, they're tracking all this online. So you're saying something disagreeable about a liberal politician in Canada, and that's getting categorized. They're taking that. They're fine. They want to know who did this. Is it so that like Mertz, they can start having active criminal cases against people who call them names online, say? Yes, it's the Liberal Party of Canada, of course. Feds building profiles on Canadians to fuel Orwellian surveillance pipeline. Yeah. Germany sees record numbers of criminal insults against politicians. German police have registered a record number of unlawful insults against politicians in 2025. Let me repeat that. Unlawful insults. They passed a law so that they could prosecute people who insult them. The politicians. In 2025, there were 4,792 investigations against people who had denigrated politicians in breach of the German criminal code. Wow. If you want to get an idea of what you can get in trouble for, Article 188 StGB served as the basis for bringing the full force of state authority against normal people, from raiding offenders' houses to slapping them with fines in the thousands of euros. One of the most notorious cases was the so-called moron affair. In 2024, Bavarian pensioner Stefan Niehoff shared a meme on X that insinuated that then German Vice Chancellor Robert Habeck was a moron. He was later fined 1,300 euros for his post. In another notorious affair, in February 2026, police in Heilbronn launched an investigation against a pensioner for supposedly calling current German Chancellor Friedrich Merz Pinocchio in a Facebook comment. That's enough, Pinocchio. Now, again, as I've said, Mark Carney keeps telling us that how much he loves Europe, how much he'd love it. Mark Carney keeps telling us how European Canada is and how great Europe is. Well, I think these are one of the things that he likes and he'd like to bring to Canada. A European innovation he'd like to bring to Canada. All right. Before we go any further, something wonderful has happened in the chat. Something marvelous and amazing has happened in the chat. We have Rosie gifting 2 subscriptions to the Rumble channel. 2 subscriptions. These are people who will be able to watch the Rumble premium streams now, which is a marvelous thing. It's really like being reborn in a lot of ways. Anyway, this is why Rosie is the best person ever. Let's get to it right now. History is full of impressive people, important people, good people, great people. I'm not saying they're not great. All I'm saying is that compared to Rosie, they're all human garbage. That's my point. Thanks, Rosie. And in all seriousness, gifting subscriptions is really the best thing anybody can do for the channel. So I do appreciate that so much. Thanks, Rosie. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Let's see. Nevada says everyone should just insult them. Yeah. There's not enough resources to prosecute all, Rosie says. No. I don't think it would put them off, though. You know, I don't think it would put them off. Canuck 6 Stringer says, I love the Monday streams. Many, many thanks. Well, recipient of a membership there. So thanks to Rosie again. Rosie says, Rich, please find the troll who swallowed the one from last night. Heimlich maneuver. I don't know. I thought they normally would just pop up for the next one, but I don't know. Maybe just randomly gave it to somebody just like not on the stream. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. I got to be honest with you, but I do appreciate the effort. Let's see where are we going next. Okay, what do we have here? Mark Miller confirms his plan to regulate what Canadians can say on social media. He cites the UK censorship as an example that Canada should follow. Wow. UK is 30 to 35 arrests per day for as little as a Facebook meme post. Well, let's take... oh, that's not a video. Darn it. All right, here we go. Here's the video. So what does this say? Nico Lagan Mark Miller just told you their plan. Most Canadians have no idea what it means. Mark Miller says it's time for social media and social platforms to have responsibility. What about the CBC? Should they have any responsibility? Most people are at social media. They missed the second part. Social platforms include WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, and yes, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Grok are all considered social platforms. Let's take a look.
Online harms don't end as soon as you turn 15 or 16 or 17, and it's time for social media and social platforms to have some responsibility.
You might not know this.
Yeah, okay. So they are planning to ban social media for under 16s. But you heard him right there, right? It's not just, the social harms don't just stop at 16. It's almost like they are really most concerned with people being exposed to non-government funded, government subsidized media. It's almost like that, huh? It almost seems like that's what it almost seems like that's what their legislation is for. Like, for instance, the Online News Act that got Canadian news banned off of Meta, like Facebook, Instagram, huh? It's almost like they just want to control the narrative. All right. Well, let's do the meme review. So what do we got here? Let's see. How Europeans disappeared. 1 wife, 2 children. 4 wives, 12 children. Outbred, outnumbered, outvoted, out. Well, also, the 1 wife and 2 children have to pay for the 4 wives and 12 children, which is a problem. That's happening across Europe right now. So it's fairly obvious. It's just demographics, right? It's just who's having more kids. And, indigenous Europeans are far below replacement right now in terms of births. So they don't stop what they're doing. These are the people that are going to be running them. These are the people that would be running Europe and knocking down all of those, or converting all of those old, amazing cathedrals and, and telling them what to do, what they have to do. So, yeah. And, with AI too, the emergence of AI, which is going to cut probably 50% of the jobs over the next 30 years. I'm sure it's just the perfect plan, isn't it? Let's see. Liberals and Islam. There they are, watering the tree that will eventually hang them. Yes, and they're very grateful to the stupidity of the wokes for helping them out. Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to live in an Islamic society, okay, that's one thing. If you don't, like the feminists, how do they look at Islamic societies and think, yeah, that's good, more of that here? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? It makes you think almost that they don't actually believe in anything. They just believe in what feels progressive. Whatever TikTok tells them is progressive, they're just going to believe in that. It's weird, right? What's this? November Rain posted this one. So I guess these were the students at the May Day protest, the International Commie protest. Let's see. We are Skyping our lesson to teach you one. Yeah, so that should be 2 P's there. 2 P's. Yeah, but they can spell fuck. So at least they got that down. Let's see. Something, respect, inspiration, diversity, equality. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like maybe they should have stayed in school for that day. Not that they were going to learn how to read anyway, but let's see. John's memes. Let's see. 10 years of Trudeau corruption and scandals. Okay, Canada just biking along as if there's nothing wrong. Let's see. Mark Carney doubles down on corruption and control. And then why would Trump do this to us? This is unfortunately Canada. This actually does describe Canada perfectly right now. The mentality of Canada. It's sad, but unfortunately it's true. And I've been saying all along, Mark Carney would be Turbo Trudeau, and I've been proved correct. The Thinking Atheist posted this. Let's see. Pitch meeting. Remember Jaws? Yeah. Remember the Old Testament? Where are you going with this? Noah's Shark. Get to higher ground. That's pretty funny. I do like it. I do like it. That'd make for a hell of a movie. Let's see. Look, son. Rioters, arsonists, and looters are here to teach us about peace and equality. Summer of Love. Remember the Summer of Love? Well, we all learned so much. Let's see. What's this? Oh, there's Ilhan Omar. The last time the Alien Act was used was in World War XI. What did she say? I don't know. Something about screwing her brother? Because, well, she did marry your brother. And she did say World War XI. So checks out. How many fingers am I holding up? 11. 11. That's 11, right? It's two. Yeah, it's 2 ones. It's 11. What's this? Kootenai PE. Dictator alert. Donald Trump is seizing total control of Congress without an election and shutting down all investigations into himself. Just kidding. That's actually what Mark Carney is doing with Canada's parliament. Yes, he seized the majority government, which means basically total power. He can just do whatever he wants. He did that by bribing opposition MPs to cross the floor to the Liberals. No government has ever gone from minority to majority via that method, via bribing opposition MPs. That's never happened before. Let's see. And also, yeah, they decided to shut down. Also, they took over all of the parliamentary committees and decided everything has to be in camera, which means actually off camera, which means secret, which means hidden from the Canadian people. So, yeah, that's what Mark Carney is doing. Donaldo Trumpo. Love the mustache. Let's see. Huge win from the Supreme Court. No more race-based congressional districts. Well, this is a major advantage now to the Republicans. But it seems kind of crazy that you would have racially gerrymandered districts. Like, that doesn't seem very actually democratic. I mean, take a look here. Here's Louisiana. Like, here's one. This was a racially gerrymandered district. So look at it. Like, it's this long line. It goes off in all these weird ways. Like, that's not what a district's supposed to look like, right? This is racially based, right? This doesn't, why would anybody look at this and think, yeah, that makes sense? That doesn't make sense. Right, this looks like cheating, is what it looks like. All right, let's move on. Ilhan Omar realizing her name starts with 11. Oh, wow. Let's see. There's RFK Jr. The left, RFK Jr. is too anti-science. Also the left, pregnant man. Pregnant man emoji. Do they not see it? Do they not see it? I guess not. Let's see. Matt Walsh said, and I guess this is in reference to Ilhan Omar with her World War XI. Controversial opinion, I know, but I think 11 Back to the Futures was a bit too much. Could have stopped at like 8 or so. There it is. Back to the Future 11. Yikes. Yeah, 11 was too many. All right. Let's go back to the chat. Rosie says, remember in Venezuela, all dissidents to be arrested had their front door marked, so all citizens went out and marked their own doors. Thwarted authorities. That is kind of brilliant, isn't it? They're from the Leering Center. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Hold on, where are they? Yeah, they shouldn't have taken the day off from the Leering Center. Not until they can write. Not until they can spell. Good Lord. Anyway. That's embarrassing. Let's see. JDL makes such a good point here. How you doing, JDL? JDL makes such a good point here. It says, hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Such an important point. Let me see if there's an ad worth doing for me here. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe. Why don't I just do one? I need like a boost. Let's do it. Try Nova Health. Let's go. Let's see. All right, people. Access Med, powered by Try Nova Health, is a revolutionary telehealth service that offers fast, free online evaluations and free home delivery of customized compounded medications, offering custom weight loss support, ivermectin therapy, hair restoration, cosmetic rejuvenation, custom ED treatments, wink, wink, and more. You could complete your visit in less than 10 minutes. And there's no subscriptions or recurring fees ever. And that's the best kind of fees, the non-recurring ones. We've made getting started easier than ever. Simply follow the link, choose the product or treatment you're interested in, and then complete a quick online evaluation. Those are the best kinds of online evaluations, the quick ones. Within days, your custom meds will arrive at your door. Mention Rumble in the coupon code and get 10% off your first treatment. There we go, folks. Beautiful, beautiful ad read, like poetry, like poetry. Vada says she saved her money up for those, and now she can't stop playing them. Talking about the woman playing piano with her breasts, which is the best way. JDL says the Leering Center is where I learned to leer and lurk. Very well. Let's see. All right, we did that. What do we got now? Oh God, Carney. It's just like it's just like life sucking listening to Carney. Carney asked what he meant when he said the international order will be rebuilt out of Europe. Well, hold on a second. So here from the Clash Report, here's Mark Carney, and he's traveled off to tell the world about how much he loves Europe. And he says that it's his strong personal view that the international order will be rebuilt, but it will be rebuilt out of Europe. So he's desperate to save globalism. Let's take a listen.
And as we'll discuss later, we are an energy superpower, third largest oil producer, fourth largest natural gas, largest hydro renewable base. We're committed to addressing climate change while providing reliable, affordable energy to our citizens and partners. In closing,
yeah, nobody else cares about climate change anymore. Sorry to tell you this, Mark Carney. Right? Even the Europeans don't really anymore. They're buying as much non-green energy from the United States as they can get their hands on right now. But I don't know. Go ahead.
We're here because of your invitation. Again, thank you for that. But we're here because of the moral and security imperatives of our cooperation in the Caucasus, in the Baltics, in Ukraine, across Europe, and also because of the immense potential for our partnerships to build a better, more prosperous, sustainable, and just world for our citizens. And I'll close with this. It's my strong personal view.
He forgot to mention poverty. He forgot to mention poorer world. Everybody being poorer because of his insane net zero policies. But let's continue.
That as the international order will be rebuilt, but it will be rebuilt out of Europe. And so I'm very appreciative of this. And as
with what exactly? Europe's a crumbling edifice. The EU is a crumbling edifice. Okay, it's falling apart. The average. In fact, do I have something here? Hold on. What's this? Let me make this bigger. Canada's nominal GDP per capita is approximately 53,000 to 60,000. Okay, which is also going the wrong direction. It's going off a cliff when compared to the United States, which is generally higher than the average EU GDP per capita, 40,000 to 45,000. This is in US dollars. Okay, so Canada's in big trouble economically. Europe's even worse. The EU is even worse. Okay. Nobody's got a military that's going to frighten anybody. How is this international order going to be built? Is Europe going to keep the sea lanes safe? I don't think so. It's just empty words from this man. Empty words from this globalist, this technocrat. Nobody's looking to Canada for guidance. Canada's going to lead some coalition of the middle powers against the hegemons, which he means the United States, because he's already been off to the other hegemon, China, to pledge allegiance to the New World Order. So none of it makes sense. It's all just it's just empty words. It's just hot air for the Canadian public that still likes him for some reason. Even though things continue to get worse in Canada and he has achieved absolutely nothing. In fact, tariffs are worse now because of him. So he just travels around. He just travels around and just says throws out these word salads and these like high flowing ideals that mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. The world order is not being rebuilt out of Europe. Europe can barely take care of itself right now. And the same can be said of Canada. Is this part of his plan, his apparent plan, to try and trick the Canadian people into wanting to join the European Union? Probably. I guess, we can all go down together. All right. Just so idiotic. All right. Which one is this? All right. And again, we keep hearing about this. Should Canada join the EU? We keep hearing this. Should Canada join the EU? I mean, it's the most insane idea, the most disastrous idea imaginable. This was posted by Ryan Gerritsen. Here's Anita Anand, the Vancouver Board of Trade. Let's hear.
Understood. We have some questions here, and talking about diversification, the most popular question is about whether Canada should join the EU. What is your thinking about that and about future Canada-EU relations?
Okay, well, I'll start with a little comical moment in my life on this, that we're quite close as G7 foreign ministers, and my counterparts in France and Germany recently filmed a video beside the Berlin Gate to invite Canada to join the EU. And so I was with them in Paris, and I was like, guys, what are you doing? On a more serious note, I understand the impetus for the question. Mm-hmm. The gist of the question is something that we feel too, that there is a sense of being like-minded with many of the EU countries. And in particular, we're pushing on that open door by being the only non-European country to be a member of the SAFE, to allow our defense companies here in Canada to compete for defense procurement contracts on the same level, on the same terms as European companies, to ensure that we have the CETA agreement, that free trade agreement with EU countries, to ensure that we have strong...
What, are they buying a couple of cases of our military tampons now?
Alliances bilaterally as well as multilaterally. And so I would say the question emanates from a similar position, which is we'll push on that door in order to diversify, to de-risk, in order to ensure that we double non-US trade over the next 10 years. This is...
to de-risk. Joining the EU would be the ultimate in risking, not de-risking. Okay. First and foremost, again, as bad as Canada's economy is going off a cliff, GDP per capita is still considerably higher than the average in the EU, which is down to 40 to 45,000. Okay. That means Canada would be a have amongst a bunch of have-nots. Okay, which would mean that Canada would have to give money to the have-nots, right? The poor EU countries. Okay, so it would be like having Quebec, but now Quebec is an entire new continent. All right. Also, it should be noted that for any elbows up people out there, that if you're worried about losing your sovereignty to the United States, why would you want to lose your sovereignty to the EU, who then will control your trade, your immigration? They will have a major say in your criminal law, in regulation. They'll basically be controlling the country. They would turn Canada into a resource colony where they set all of the prices. Now, the United States would never allow that to happen, right? Just for obvious reasons. They would never allow that to happen, and the EU would not dare. All right? If they ever want to sell anything into the largest market in the world ever again, right? So the whole thing is just idiotic and a waste of everybody's time. It's just hard to believe anybody could think it was a good idea in the first place. Well, this is Canada. Majority of Canadians open to joining the EU, new poll suggests. This is what happens when you have an electorate that's totally ignorant, just knows nothing about the world or even their own country. All right. Anyway, needless to say, it's a terrible and stupid and disastrous idea. All right. What are you guys saying? Let's go back to the chat. Let's see. Rosie says, looked like she was pointing at the ad. For that alone, ad read 11 out of 10, which is almost the most out of 10. Thank you, Rosie. Let's see. Rosie says, okay, I am bad, but that ad read with the visual of the piano teacher is hilarious. An ad for implants virtually. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Let's see. Next time, put the URL code on the other side. I don't control that. Let's see. JDL says, Amish have grass-fed cars. Those are the best kind. Ottawa James, how you doing? Rosie says, he says international order, but it sounds like international hoarder. Gathering up all the freedom and rights. Exactly. Let's see. Ottawa James says, dumb idea for Canada to join the EU. Yes, incredibly dumb. Let's see. All right. Let's move on. Let's see. I forgot to do this. Anybody who's watching on YouTube, go and subscribe to the second channel, Radio Baloney News, about 8 months old now. The algorithm ain't going to help me out in this, but that is where you will find all of the clip videos. You can see them all. There's like over 300 now, but here's a bunch down here. They are no longer on the channel you're watching right now. If you're on YouTube, it's just live streams here now. So you have to go to the other channel to get all of the other wonderful videos. Let's see. All right. What do we got next? I'm getting tired, people. It's hot in here. It's hot. So good news for the Alberta separatists from Zero Hedge here. Alberta separatists say they have enough signatures to force referendum on leaving Canada. A group pushing for Alberta to break free from Canada announced Monday it has submitted nearly double the number of signatures required to force a referendum, which could come as early as October. Let's see. Triggering a referendum requires 178,000 signatures. Triggering. Hold on a second. I ain't got a good brain. I don't have a good brain. Let's see. Triggering a referendum requires 178,000 signatures, but they've amassed more than 300,000. Now, I expected that they would fairly easily hit that 178,000 mark. It's a matter of, is there enough support to actually separate? The independence drive could hit a snag this week as a judge may rule on a challenge of the referendum filed by a First Nations group. They just seem to get in the way of everything, don't they? However, Stay Free Alberta attorney Jeff Rath said these are mere speed bumps. Quote, as far as we're concerned, whatever the court does or whatever elections Alberta does at this point is meaningless. He told CBC, given the premier can't ignore more than 300,000 signatures. Alberta has been on the wrong end of a Canadian policy called equalization, a more palatable term than what it should be called, wealth redistribution. Yes, and most of it goes to Quebec, who's very against the way that Alberta makes that money to give to Quebec, which is through oil and gas. Now, here's the poll. Here's a poll from April 7th to the 22nd, 2026. Separation referendum by voting intention. If a referendum were held today on whether Alberta should separate from the rest of Canada, would you vote for or against separation? Well, you can see NDP voters, only 2% say they would. 2% NDP. UCP voters, that's Daniel Smith's, the Conservative Premier's party, 57% said that they would. Only 34% said that they wouldn't. And all Albertans, 27% say they would vote for separation. 67% say they would vote against. Polling in Canada is very, very sketchy. There's only a couple of decent ones. Abacus is very good. But most of them are kind of all over the place all the time, and usually very biased against anything that is remotely conservative feeling. Janet Brown opinion research. So trend research. So look, I have no doubt that this is 27% is a low ball on this. But even if it were off by 10, there's 37%. That's still not enough. But the separatists, the independence people, do have a secret weapon. And that secret weapon is Mark Carney. Because it's not just about equalization payments. It's about culture, too. Alberta is the most conservative province in the country. I guess Alberta and Saskatchewan are the most conservative. And they do not like or respect the Laurentian elites in Eastern Canada who run everything and who treat everybody else in the country and who treat everybody in Western Canada as if they're just vassals, basically, as if they are their lords. And Mark Carney can go a long way towards getting that independence vote up, I think, through endless wokeness, through mass immigration, and through just the general liberal lunacy. So we shall see. I don't think that they have the numbers right now. But they could. They could. All right. Do you know what? I'm feeling so tired. It's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. On Tuesday, if we get really tired, there is a little something we can do. There's a little trick we have. There's a little magic something that we can use to get that energy up, to give ourselves that little boost. Because I know all of us out there right now, we've had a couple of coffees. We had a couple of double espressos. Nothing. Didn't work, did it? We all smoked crack. We all did the blue meth from Breaking Bad. Nothing. It didn't work. We all chewed on, 10, 12, 15 polar bear adrenal glands. Nothing. Nothing could work. What could work? What could get us out of this malaise? What could get us out of this pit and give us the kind of energy we need to continue on with this stream?
They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy.
And Teapot. Oh, I feel the power of they, them. I feel the power of they, them. I've got the power of two people. I've got the power of a them or a they. After watching that, it always works. It always works. I still feel like they're not sending their best rep, though. I don't think they're selling it as hard as they could, quite frankly. Oh, there we go. It is so ridiculous. I will always find that hilarious. Izzy is like number 10. How you doing, Izzy? Like number 10. So that's like, I don't know, 1.05 good karmas, I think, doing the math in my head. Let's see. Let's see. What else we got? Plunderworld. How you doing, Plunderworld? Get Draisaitl and the rest of the Oilers to support it, and Alberta will be free tomorrow. Well, Draisaitl's German, isn't he? So, let's see. Yeah, the athletes won't get behind it. I doubt it very much, especially not NHL players. They're really they drummed the personality out of all of them like many years ago. Ottawa James says the Oilers endorsed Carney. Well, all of them, like the players or just the management. Ugh. This is why I stopped watching like team sports, right? Like 2020. It started getting political. Even the NHL got political around like the George Floyd shit. Like, fuck that. Like, I get dragged back in occasionally in the playoffs occasionally, right? But I don't watch it like I used to. I don't watch regular season games. The only time I would watch a regular season game is if the kids come over and they want to watch a game with me. That's it. Because that's the only time I would see them otherwise. So, yeah. Don't regret the decision. I just watch boxing now and sometimes UFC. Let's see. Plunderworld says, dang, and they're out of the playoffs. Yep. By the way, like, the Carney curse is real. And so there's no point in watching any Canadian teams because they're not going to win any championships, right? Carney, right? He went to like that women's rugby thing. They lost their championship game. Blue Jays lost championship game. Oilers lost game 6 last year in the finals. MLS, the Whitecaps, Vancouver Whitecaps lost the MLS championship game. You know, it's the Carney curse. There's no point watching. All right. The universe has looked at Canada and has said that Canada is a crime against nature, right? Because of what we've done, because of what we've done to ourselves with the way that we vote. And it says, you get nothing now. Nothing. Nothing. In fact, I'll let you go really far, right till almost to get it, and then I'm taking it away. Because you're wrong. Because you've just become wrong. You become the definition of the word wrong, Canada. This is what the universe is telling us. This is what the universe is saying. Why won't we listen to the universe? Why won't we learn our lessons? Right? Why? You keep seeing the polls, right? Mark Carney, his approval is like plus 800 billion, right? Why? He hasn't done anything. Why do we keep sticking why do we keep putting a stick in the eye of nature itself over and over and over again? Why do we insult nature? Why do we insult the universe with our insanity, with our stupidity, with our refusal to learn, with our refusal to just confront reality on its own terms? Why? I'm telling you, nature itself is rebelling against us. Nature has had it. Nature is disgusted by us. It is disgusted with this country, with Canada. It is ashamed of us. The planet itself, the planet Earth is ashamed of Canada. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a giant volcanic eruption. The entire country is just flung into space. Just so the Earth can be rid of us, of our stupidity, of our crimes against nature, of us being determined to be an affront against nature itself. Anyway, Carney curse. I think you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's see. Let's see. Plunderworld was gifted a membership by Rosie. So is that 3 that were gifted out today then? So that means the one from yesterday got gifted out as well. So I think that one actually went. All right. Let's see. Let's see. So Rosie gave gifted 1 subscription and then gifted another subscription. So she gifted 11 subscriptions. Wow. That's impressed. That's a lot. Thank you, Rosie. Let's see. JDL says Zelensky will move to Hollywood or Florida. Well, he's got a big house in Florida, doesn't he? Nevada says, I'm making a batch of colloidal silver tonight with Canadian silver. I don't even know what that means. Izzy says, love a good baloney rant. It was a good rant there. I haven't been doing those as often lately. You know, I need to get on them more, actually. But the spirit's got to hit me. It's obviously not scripted. So, you know, the spirit's got to take me. I've got to get really, really angry about something. Oh, here we go. Canadian immigration. This was posted by Rebel News. And here we get to see our half-witted immigration minister, Lena Diab, who apparently knows nothing, certainly not about 800 individuals who are confirmed to have committed immigration fraud and are still in Canada for some reason. Apparently, they don't track any of this. So commit immigration fraud and then just nothing happens. I guess they ask themselves, like, is somebody going to come get me or something? And no, you just continue living. You keep getting the benefits, I guess, right? I guess maybe you'll go and, I guess, you know, if they apply to be a refugee and then you can maybe double the benefits or something. I don't know. But in any case, these are the people that are running Canada. Here's one of them, Lena Diab. Let's take a look.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the witnesses, Minister and Deputy Minister, for being here. Minister, it's been 6 weeks since the Auditor General tabled her report. Speaking of the 800 fraudsters that you allowed to enter Canada, how many of them are still in the country?
Thank you, Mr. Reddekopp, for that question. With regards to the 800, what I could tell you is that IRCC has established a process that if any has misrepresented on a document, they are flagged and can be deported.
I am going to interrupt because we have very limited time. So I guess I understand there's a process. I know that you've got that laid out in your departmental plan. But as of today, in terms of the people, because the process is one thing, but the actual people is another, how many of them are still in the country? Do you know that? I mean, if you don't know, that's fine.
I don't have that information.
Okay. All right. And do you know how many of those 800 fraudsters?
She's the immigration minister. This is her answer to every question, by the way. I don't have the information.
Made asylum claims.
We do know the numbers that have made asylum claims, but I don't have the number of the 800.
So you have it? Is that something you can provide to the committee then?
So we know that 14% of the total of the 153,000 made asylum claims.
Okay. That's different than the 800 fraudsters, but okay. And as far as the 800 fraudsters that your department didn't investigate, do you know where they are right now?
So again, by the end of the year, the department has an action plan that has been already submitted to the committee.
Well, there's an action plan that's been submitted to a committee, so no worries. I'm sure it sounds like they're right on top of this.
My officials here will talk on that, but there's also a lot of progress that are being done to ensure that we work collaboratively with CBSA a lot more closer.
Right. We've seen the plan, understand it. But so what you're saying is as of right now, you don't know where those are and those people are, those fraudsters, and it's something that will be done in the future.
My guess is that they'll never know where they are and they'll just live here and nothing will ever be done. When they tell you, by the way, when they tell the public, by the way, that the population of Canada has gone down because they cut student visas and they cut temporary foreign workers, they have no idea if that's true because they have no idea whether they're still here, whether they've applied to be refugees. They have no idea. Zero. They literally don't monitor it. They have no way of knowing. All of this is going to end up, when the truth finally comes out, being so much worse than we're hearing about. They obviously have no idea what they're doing. I think, honestly, the plan is to just try and keep as many people as possible. Try and, they obviously want to create a permanent underclass that will be dependent on the government and will vote for the Liberal Party forever. That's the goal, I believe. Is it possible for them to be as incompetent as they seem to be? Sure. I think it's probably both. It's incompetence and also malevolence, I believe. All right.
Madam Chair.
What do we have under this? How about this from ROSIE? ROSIE. A refugee in Canada gets $5,149 per month, tax-free. The average Canadian brings home anywhere from $4,100 to $4,800 per month after taxes. And this is on the high side. So here is a document that they've gotten a hold of. And let's see. Resettlement Assistance Program of Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. The length of the program is 12 months from the date of their arrival in Canada. So under this RAP or RAP program, a monthly allowance of $1,899, so $1,900. To supplement their income, the clients are also entitled to a monthly earning of $949 under the employment incentive policy of the RAP program, so they can actually go and earn $949. In addition, the clients are also eligible for the child tax benefit, a monthly amount of approximately $1,800. The client is also eligible for a monthly allowance of $500 from RAP Housing Top-Up Allowance. Wow, if only Canadians were treated this well. The family also gets a startup allowance of $8,326 for basic household needs, furniture, and clothing. See, we didn't used to do this in Canada. You used to be responsible for yourself. You weren't a burden on the taxpayer. You had to prove that you wouldn't be a burden on the taxpayer. Right, that all changed with Trudeau, obviously, and his infinite empathy that everybody is going to be paying for, probably until the end of time now, for as long as Canada exists. This is just lunacy. How does it benefit Canada to bring in people that are incapable of taking care of themselves, providing for themselves? How is that a benefit to the country? And to do it in such numbers, it's just total madness. I mean, our leaders may have infinite empathy, and it may feel like they have infinite resources too, but those resources aren't theirs, and they're also not infinite. This is a house of cards which is going to come crashing down. And Mark Carney will be, at that point, Mark Carney will be off shopping for whatever castle he wants to live in Switzerland or whatever, and Trudeau will still be jet-setting around the world with Katy Perry or whoever the next one is. And it'll be Canadians left holding the bag for all of this insanity. Wow. And by the way, this 800 individuals that are confirmed to have committed fraud in their immigration applications, this is nothing. This is a drop in the bucket. It's been millions and millions of people, most of them unvetted. This 800 is a drop in the bucket. Government officers told to skip fraud prevention steps when vetting temporary foreign worker applications. August 30th, 2024. From McMaster University. Wow. A Star investigation has revealed the government is fast-tracking applications by directing processing officers to skip crucial steps designed to prevent fraud. Let's see. On one hand, we're told the government will crack down on everything. And then on the other hand, we see from the documents that this is clearly a rubber stamp. The government is not going to do even basic checks. How can the public have any confidence in anything? Well, they can't. So this is from Catherine Connolly, professor at McMaster University. Yeah. No data exists from the Toronto Sun. No data exists on citizenship approved or denied due to criminal records. IRCC also had no information on what criminal offenses weren't deemed severe enough to deny citizenship. Canada's immigration bureaucracy has no data on how often Canadian citizenship was granted or denied to those with criminal records. This is just feeling like a crime against the Canadian people. It doesn't just feel like it, though, does it? Actually seems like it might be. Thank God the Liberals have control over the media in Canada. Thank goodness. Thank goodness they're subsidizing and funding corporate media so they'll do exactly what they're told. Thank goodness for Mark Carney and his pals, I guess. What do we have here? So let's take a look at Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre is very good in Parliament. And I think Mark Carney, Pierre Poilievre is very good in Parliament. This is where he really shines. Mark Nixon posted this. Pierre Poilievre slams Mark Carney for his complete embarrassment on the immigration file and First Nations land claims. Well, let's take a look here. This is the only place that Mark Carney gets called on any of his lunacy. So let's take a look.
The illusions this prime minister brings more costs, more debt, more chaos and immigration. Recently, his Liberal immigration minister admitted that her department granted a permit to enter the country to an IRGC terrorist. The Auditor General also confirms that this Liberal government has no way of confirming that people who are here illegally ever actually leave. No exit tracking whatsoever. Prime Minister appointed this Liberal minister. He's kept her in place for a year. He meets with her weekly. Is it because she's incompetent, or is her incompetence actually his incompetence? And when will he fire her?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, senior officials of the IRGC are not admissible in Canada, full stop. So we have several layers of protection that they work. First point. Secondly, what is...
By the way, this is the apparently the George Clooney of finance, or possibly at a mummified Curious George. It's one of those two.
This government done? We've taken back control of immigration. We have reduced asylum seekers by 1/3, temporary foreign workers by half, foreign students.
Yeah, it's only 765,000 people this year. So nice work there. That's going to fix everything.
By 2/3. We have got the levels of the flow of immigration back at levels that the welcome of the country can sustain.
No, it's not sustainable. That's not sustainable. 765,000, not sustainable. 390,000 permanent residents every year, not sustainable. It was what, 230,000 in 2015 under Harper? No, it's not sustainable, but let's continue.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
That is factually wrong. There are roughly 700 IRGC members here in Canada, according to a report by Global News, and this government only claims to have expelled one out of 700. Furthermore, he has no idea who has left the country because they still do not track departures. This despite the fact that this Liberal government allowed millions of international students to come in, many on a fraudulent basis and many not planning to leave at all. And now we know that the existing Liberal minister has no plan to get them out, despite meeting with the Prime Minister every week. Will he fire her for this immigration incompetence, or does he approve of it?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the CBSA has reviewed over 17,000 applications for inadmissibility. It has opened over 170 investigations. It has cancelled 330 visas related to the Iranian regime. Last year, Canada removed 22,000 inadmissible individuals. This government...
But they don't know that. They don't track it. He's just saying that. They don't actually know that anybody's left.
Man is taking control of immigration. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, the Prime Minister likes to spread the illusion that he's protecting property rights, but the reality is quite the contrary. This Liberal government instructed its lawyers not to defend property rights in the Cowichan case with a litigation directive number 14 that said that, in fact, those titles did not take priority. Now, that dispute is going to appeal, and this Prime Minister has kept that litigation order in place. In other words, he is directing his lawyers not to defend the property rights of British Columbians. Why is it that he refuses to defend homeowners?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, private property rights are fundamental in this country. This government will always defend them. That is why we immediately immediately appealed the Cowichan decision on September 8th, along with the city of Richmond, along with other First Nations, along with the province of British Columbia. All federal agreements with First Nations, with Indigenous peoples, with rights holders protect private property rights and protect Indigenous people's rights. And on Red Dress Day, I think we should spend some time on the rights of Indigenous peoples in this country.
Well, for some reason, he completely ignored a part of what Pierre Poilievre said there. Let's continue.
The honorable leader of the opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's answer on property rights is all an illusion. This Liberal government directed its lawyers not to defend property rights. In litigation directive number 14, it said that lawyers are not to make the case that fee simple property ownership takes precedence over all other claims. That directive is still on the government website, meaning that in all the litigation that is coming up on property ownership, this Prime Minister is directing his lawyers not to do their jobs and not to defend British Columbia homeowners. Why?
Well, it's weird because, let's see, Mark Carney gave title rights to the Musqueam, which is a band of about 1,400 people, to like Metro Vancouver, to the Musqueam, right? Like 3 million people live in this area here. Government of Canada's landmark agreement recognizes Musqueam First Nations Aboriginal title in Metro Vancouver. This is from the Daily Hive. More importantly, the deals also formally recognize Musqueam's Aboriginal rights and establish a framework for joint governance in the First Nations traditional territory. This was after the Cowichan decision, which in Richmond here, the courts gave Aboriginal title to, I think it was about 800 acres of property, businesses, private property there, which was like an earthquake hitting the province because 95% of the province is vulnerable to this. After that happened, he does this. Mark Carney does this. This is not helping. Okay, nobody should feel reassured by Mark Carney's words. This makes it worse. From CTV News, Musqueam title agreements covering much of Greater Vancouver released by feds. The federal government has released details of recent agreements with the Musqueam First Nations recognizing Aboriginal title over an area potentially covering much of Greater Vancouver. Greater Vancouver is one of Canada's biggest cities. It's the biggest port city. But it says the agreements do not have any effect on privately owned land. Well, how can they say that exactly? Are the courts going to agree? The Office of Crown Indigenous Relations Minister Rebecca Alty says in a statement, the agreements instead provide general recognition of Musqueam Aboriginal rights and title within their territory while establishing a framework for future negotiations on how and where those rights and title could apply. There's no real concise answer to what any of this means. And doing this after the Richmond decision, the Cowichan decision, is insanely reckless. I mean, it's like Mark Carney is trying to destroy It's like Mark Carney is trying to destroy British Columbia. It makes no sense. All of this uncertainty that's going to be in the courts for years now, there is not going to be any investment in British Columbia. You'd have to be crazy to invest any money in British Columbia with all of this going on. But there's Mark Carney. Just everything's fine. Everything's good. A fee simple is safe. Well, no, it's not. It's clearly not. The courts have said that it's not. This is what we're dealing with. People actually vote for this. People vote for this. When people are polled now, they say they approve of what he's doing. This is utter lunacy. But Mark Carney stands up and says everything's fine. This is the Liberal playbook for the last 11 years. As the country increasingly degrades in every way, they just stand up and say, no, it's great. Everything's good. No, we're doing a great job. And that's enough. That's enough for them to just keep getting elected over and over again. This country had better wake up in time for the next election, because we've already got generational damage. And it's not a matter of it's bad at this point. It's a matter of how bad can it get? All right. Let's go back to the chat. Let's see. What are we, 2 hours in? Let's see. All right. All right, let's get to the stuff, the garbage that you guys sent in, the garbage, this garbage you guys, degenerate garbage you guys sent in. No, look, I love the stuff you guys sent in. Why do I say that? Why am I being mean? What's wrong with me? Love this stuff. All right. Beatty posted this. Social media at its finest. One of you guys sent this in. Let's take a look. Oh, you know what? If we're going to do this, we got to cut off the YouTube part of the stream. So we're going to do that right now. So it just saves me from like the broken copyright system over on YouTube. It saves me a bunch of hassle after the stream is over. So the rest of the stream, we will see probably half an hour or so. We're going to continue on X, on Locals, and on Rumble, but the YouTube part is going to be cut off. If you don't join us on the other places, then I hope to see you Friday, 7:30 Pacific time at 10:30 Eastern. Goodbye. Good night, YouTube, and have a great week. All right. That's it. That's it. Now we're free. Now we're free. Now